my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The I am is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumble and fail. Though an host should camp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing I have desired of the I am, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of Yahuwah all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the I am, to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion, in the secret of his tabernacles shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock, and now shall my enemies be lifted up. My head shall be lifted above my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacles sacrifices of joy. I will sing praises unto the I am. Hear, O Yahweh, when I cry with my voice. Have mercy upon me and answer me. When thou saidest, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, O Yahuwah, will I seek. Hide not far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been my help. Lead me not, neither forsake me, O Sanini Nanini, of my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the I am will take me up. Teach me thy way, Tata Nzambe. Lead me in a plain path because of my enemies. Deliver me not over to the will of my enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, such as breathe out cruelty. I had fainted unless I believed to see the goodness of Yahweh in the land of the living. Wait on the I am. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the I am. Psalms 27, the name Lord substituted for the different languages that describe the I am. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish me and my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forevermore. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We thank God. All praises to his holy name. All praises to the Most High, even our Creator. Yes, by many people he's called many names. He did not name himself, but we have called him by many names by virtue of our languages. And we thank God for his mercy. We thank him for his favor. We thank him. His mercy endure forever. That is most important of all. His mercy, because we cannot have any favor from the Most High unless we have his mercy. His mercy to excuse our ignorance of his word. His mercy to cause us to be forgiven of our transgressions against the law, statutes, and judgments and ordinances that our ancestors have agreed to, saying that all that the I am said, that will we do in Exodus chapter 19. Yes, all we give you the glory, O most holy Creator. We thank you that you are the only omnipotent one. You are the one that filleth all things, createth all things. You are all things. And we give you the glory for those things. Yes, we do. And we also thank you for this beautiful day, this beautiful afternoon, and this beautiful evening, wherever we're found. In your mercy, we thank you for these things. Yes, and we thank you for victory over our enemies and those who have been not just over our enemies, but over ourselves, that we come into this full knowledge of you, that our enemies might be subdued. Yes, you've given some mercy, that you have caused even the land of, yes, the Sahel, the AES, you've caused them to even be free of their oppressors. And yet you're steadily just making them more free as you establish them a means by which they can repel their oppressors every day. And we praise you and we thank you for their prosperity. We thank you for the blessings that you have put upon them. Yes. And also even here in the United States, where we are scattered and few, where we have to fight for everything that we have, we ask you to deal with us, that we might come into that knowledge of one man that prays, one man that fasts, one man that knows your word, speaking the same things as we should in your law, statutes, ordinances, and commandments. And we thank you that we might be able to repel and rebuke our enemies and those that oppress us daily because of their foolishness. And we thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, we thank God for all that he's done. Yes, yes. And also we thank God for you, and you. We thank God for those of you who have commented. We thank God for those of you who have just been with us since the beginning and here and there's about. We thank God for those of you who have just subscribed and those of you who are about to subscribe, calling those things that are not as though they are. Yes, you're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. Yes, we're walking in the first book of Samuel. The first book of Samuel. Yes, yes, we're walking in the first book of Samuel. And we are in, we're not in the second book of Samuel. We're in the first book of Samuel. Yes. Let's see, I think we're in the book of, we're in chapter 25. Chapter 25. But we're going to call it chapter 20. Well, we're in chapter 26, I'm sorry. 26. Yes, chapter 26. Yes. And we have Saul in chapter 26. Saul was one that was really one that sought David. He sought David. But we're going to go on to chapter 27. I think I kind of lost my way a little bit here. But anyway, chapter 27. Yes, 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 yes. Now, we read how David had cut the skirt off Saul in the cave. That he thought that the I am was showing Saul that he could at any time deliver David and to deliver Saul into the hands of David. Now in chapter 26, I believe we stopped at chapter 26. Yes, we did. Chapter 26. Well, anyway, we can do it be pretty good. Abigail. Beautiful, wise woman. One who that is wife material all the way. She don't have to be all that pretty, but I believe she was a pretty woman. But either way, that's just my own personal opinion. But anyway, I believe it describes her as a very wise woman who really cared for the servants, the people that served this Nabal. And she met David to prevent him from destroying all those who were innocent from the son of Belial, even Nabal, who did not care. We don't even know. He might not even pay his servants right. Who knows how he treated his wives? We don't know. But the fact is that she was wise and that she did what she had to do. By whatever means she became his wife, she was his wife. And that she stayed faithful. And as I said before, David did not lie with her. Why? Why should he lie with her? We're in Samuel chapter 25. Okay. And we're going to start with verse 34. So go to verse 34. It says, "For in the very deed as the I am of Israel liveth, which hath kept me back from hurting thee, except thou hast come to meet me, surely there had not been left unto Nabal by the morning light any that pisseth against the wall." In other words, all his children, all of y'all would have been destroyed. Because I'm angry after I have done all this work and kept you all safe while they were out getting the sheep fed and all these other things, and he was shearing his sheep. And I just asked you for some bread and you give me nothing but just a harsh, who is this David? Come on now. When it says pisseth against the walls, it says also the little child. So you have to really realize, even those who call themselves nothing but, they pretend, the pretendees, we'll put it that way. You know what I'm talking about. But the fact is, they try to mimic this here. They try to mimic, and that those nations that come against them, if you're going to fight them, you'd have to go all the way out. Don't spare nothing. Because if you spare anything, this is their mindset. They're going to have the mindset of ancient Israel. They're going to destroy everything, period. As much as they can, no matter how much you bring accusation against them, they're going to do it. Very cunning and deceitful. But either way, in verse 35, so David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said to her, Go in peace to thine house. I have hearkened to thy voice, and have accepted thy persons. And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house like the feast of a king. And I believe Abigail kind of liked David a little bit there. She liked that little young man, didn't she? Apparently she was a younger woman also. No, we don't know their ages, but we know they were young. Now, like the feast of a king, and Nabal's heart was very merry within him, for he was very drunken, wherefore she told him nothing less or more until the morning light. In other words, she was going to tell him what she did. But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine had gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, his heart died within him, and he became as a stone. In other words, she's saying, hey, do you know we were on the brink of being annihilated? Me, you, our children, your wives, everything in your whole establishment, you were about to be deleted. And this narrative says his heart died within him, and he became a stone. In other words, blank. And it came to pass about 10 days after that the I am smote Nabal, that he died. Why? Because he tried to deceive the Most High's anointed. Touch not my anointed, neither do my prophet any harm. Yes, and that word stood still at this point here. And it came to pass, in verse 39, let's go to 39. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the I am, that he pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and that hath kept his... See, God don't need swords and spears. The Most High, he doesn't need your guns, your spears, your rockets, your nukes. He don't need that. Don't need that. And he's not an X-Man either, a white guy that has this power over mine. No, he's not that either. But he's the creator. He's the creator. And you have to see him as he is. You don't know what he looks like. Many of you don't even know his color. His color of his, what appears as his skin. And see, this is where we have to really respect men. Those of you who call yourself white supremacists and black bigots or whatever, Sambos or whatever you want to call them, however you might call yourself or identify as, or those who are very racist, should I say, toward either yourselves or others. And those of you that have prided yourself over anything that's beneath you, do you know the common denominator between us all is that we shall die, period. So who are you above that? Your money can't save you from death. It might prolong it a little bit, but that's still nothing. You're going to die when you're going to die either way, regardless of how much money you spend. It doesn't matter. Doctors can't do nothing for you. And I'm not sorry. He says now, when David heard, he said, Bless, for the I am hath returned the wickedness of Nabal, I'm in verse 39, upon his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail. In other words, he went, oh, I'm going to get that fine woman. Oh, no. Yeah, that was his wife, but she going to be mine now. This woman will be an asset unto me. This is what you want, man. You want a woman that can be not only your lover, your friend, but an asset. Not that you depend on, but you know whatever you have charged her with or what she should do for you, she will be faithful in all things, regardless of how she feels. Marriage is a commitment. It's not, it starts out with an attraction, then it becomes a commitment. You will grow old. Some of you will get fat. Some of you will get wrinkles. That is not the virtue of marriage. That's not the virtue of relationship. The virtue of relationship is the content of the character. It's the same thing as the law. The content of the character of the woman. And woman, the content of the character of the man. It's not about the money. You have your list. God cursed that list of what a man should be. No one, even you, woman, can't even be that what you put on your list. You're just selfish to the point where you want a servant instead of a companion. You want to be served rather than served. Away with you and your list. And she rose and bowed herself on her face to the earth. David took that woman. That was a good woman. And she rose and bowed herself to the earth and said, Behold, let thine handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my I am, of my Lord, her owner. That's what they put there. That's not what she said, really. It doesn't make any sense. And Abigail hasted and rose upon an ass with 5 damsels of hers, and she was a very, damsel. She's had women that took care of her. Sisters. And who knows, they could have become the concubines of David after a while. The way David is, yeah. That went after her, and she went after the messengers of David and became his wife. Yes, very good choice, David. And David also took Noam. That was the second wife of David, or recorded second wife of David, and Noam of Jezreel. And they also, both of them, his wives. Now, who was she of Jezreel? Was she a servant to Abigail? Or what? It doesn't say. It says, but Saul had given Michal, his daughter, David's wife, to Philati, the son of Laish, which was of Galim. Now, who is he to give David's wife when David was not dead? Although she would obey her father, but he is not over her anymore. She is David's wife. See, this is where a lot of things have mismatched. He did that also to her sister. He had committed her and betrothed her to David and gave her to another man and then gave her Michal. Evil and wicked. And many women, they had to do what their fathers or the males of their families bid them do. Yes, they did at that time. And some still do it today, but not in that fashion. Now, let us go on to chapter 26. Now we're on track. And the Ziphites came to Saul. We are in 1 Samuel chapter 26 and verse 1. Yes, verse 1. And the Ziphites came to Saul to Gibeah, saying, Doth not David hide himself in the hill of Hakchilah, which is before Jezreel? Then Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph, saying 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him, to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul pitched a tent of Hakchilah, which is before Jezreel by the way. But David abode in the wilderness. And he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness. Therefore David sent out spies and understood that Saul was come in very deed. In other words, he wanted to destroy David. And David arose and came to the place where Saul had pitched, and David beheld the place where Saul lay, and Abner, the son of the captain of his hosts, and Saul lay in the trench, and the people pitched round about him. And then David answered and said to Ahimelech the Hittite and to Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, brother of Joab, saying, who will go down with me to Saul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down. So David said to Abishai, come to the people by night, and behold, Saul lay sleeping within the tent, and his spear stuck in the ground at his bolster. But Abner and the people lay round about him. Then said Abishai to David, God has delivered thine enemy into thine hand this day. Now therefore let me smite him, I pray thee, with the spear, even to the earth at once, and I will not smite him the second time. And David said to Abishai, destroy him not. Who can stretch forth his hand against the Iam's anointed and be guiltless? You can't do it. And David said furthermore, now some of you say your preachers or your pastors, oh, they were given to us by God. Or are you sure? Now this here was given, a man appointed him, but this man, everybody knew that he was a prophet of the Most High. That's the only thing God used to appoint kings, were prophets. Yes. They were like God's right-hand man in the court. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, into his courts with praise. You hear these things all the time in your churches, in your mosque. If you read the Old Testament, the Psalms, you hear them also in other denominations of the government of the Most High, how they praise their king. God is still king over Israel. He's still king over the children of Jacob. I'm not talking about, again, I repeat, I am not talking about those people that occupy that land now. They're nothing. They're converts. And yet they have destroyed and manipulated the Most High's, the words of the Most High, to try to deceive those who are truly his people, his inheritance. I'll put it that way. So let's continue. And David says furthermore in verse 10, as the I am liveth, the I am shall smite him, or on his day shall come to die. Now this is just not a Christian thing. Yes, he was anointed to be king. He said it's not up to us to take this guy. He was appointed, and we understood that he was appointed by the Most High through his prophet. So I am put him there, and I am going to take him out. And let us just be patient. And I said, or he shall descend into battle and perish. And the I am forbid that I should stretch forth my hand against the I am's anointed. But I pray thee, take thou now the spirit that is at his boisterous and a cruse of water, and let us go. I'm going to show you, God delivered you into our hands again. But we believe the Most High and not our own, what seems right unto us. So David took the spear and the cruse of water from Saul's boister. That's an English word again. And they got them away. And no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awaked, for they were all asleep. This is because of the Most High, because a deep sleep from the I am was falling upon them. God knows what he's doing. He don't need what your little, every man goes by what seemeth right to him. But those are the ways of death. Then David went over to the other side and stood on the top of the hill far off, a great space being between them. And David cried to the people and to Abner the son of Nun, saying, answerest thou not, Abner? And when Abner answered and said, who art thou that criest to the king? And David said to Abner, art thou not a valiant man who is like to thee in Israel? Wherefore then hast thou not kept thy word, thy lord or thy owner the king? For there came one of the people in to destroy the king, thy owner or thy lord. See, you ask, who is your Lord? You said the king is Lord. You say God is Lord. This is Lord. See, this is a confusion right here. Identify them according to who they are. Now this is not good that thou hast done. As the I am liveth, that means the Creator, God, Yahweh, Yahuwah. or who some of you even call him Jah, or whatever you want to call it with the J. Really, it's all the same. Ye are worthy to die, because ye have not kept your master, the I am's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, and the cruse of water that was at his boister. Again, God is showing him. God is showing him. I have delivered you into David's hand, but David, a man after my own heart, knew what my statutes, commandments, and laws and ordinances are. And Saul knew David's voice and said, is this the voice of my son David? And David said, it is my voice, my lord, O king. In their eloquent speech of the English. The voice, my king, O king, would be what it would be, what it would have said, not as the old English. Now, he said, wherefore doth my lord or my king thus pursue after his servant? For what have I done, or what evil is in my hand? In other words, what have I done to you, king? One anointed to be king over Israel by the Most High? He says, now therefore I pray thee, let the king hear the words of his servant, king. We don't know who they're talking about when they say this Lord word. Now, if the king have stirred thee up, if the I am have stirred thee up against me, let him accept an offering. There it is again. Who are you calling Lord? Who is this translator calling Lord? But if they be the child of men, cursed be they before the I am. For they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of the I am, saying, go, serve other gods. Now therefore, let not thy blood fall to the earth before the face of the I am, for the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea. No, I'm nothing. Why are you so upset? Why are you so in a ball and in a knot, as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains? Then said Saul, I have sinned, transgressed against. Return, my son David, I will go no more to do thee harm, because my soul was precious in thine eyes this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and I have erred exceedingly. And David answered and said, behold, the king's spear, and let one of the young men come and fetch it. And the I am rendered to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the I am delivered thee into my hand today. Now he knew it, but it wasn't his lot to destroy the king whom the I am had appointed and anointed. But I would not stretch forth mine hand against the I am's anointed. And this is what we must identify today. Who is the I am's anointed? How can we tell? Laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Well, let's call a buck a buck. If a person is obeying those things and doing those things which are right before the Most High, then they are anointed. Because God has called them and they are practicing what God had told them to do. Yes, even obedience. And they are the ones who would be the remnant, small, very few in number. The rest, you follow after idols. You follow after idolatry. Idols can be living or they can be dead. They can be stick, wounds, stones, or imaginations. This is what idols are. Those things whom you sit down and worship, and that you esteem above the Most High. And this is one thing we have to be really careful of. Who do we esteem above God? Above Him, above obedience to Him. Who do we esteem? What do we esteem? What philosophy, what ordinance of man do we esteem above the Most High? This is what makes you a man after God's heart. because his heart is in his law, statutes, ordinances, and commandments. This is where God's heart is. And to be pleasing, we have to follow these things before the I am, and then we will be pleasing to him, and we will obtain favor. As the Christians put it, the old English, old fogies say, grace. But either way, as bold as thy life was set by this day in mine eyes, so let my life be set in thine eyes, in the eyes of the I am, and let him deliver me out of all trouble or tribulation. Then Saul said to David, blessed be thou, my son David. Thou shalt both do great things, and also shalt still prevail. So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. So apparently, we're ending at 1 Samuel chapter 26 and verse 25, the end of the chapter. So apparently Saul saw the error of his ways at this time, and that he knew that the I am twice could have ended his life by the hands of David if he wanted to. But he put it in David's heart not to do so. It was not David's lot. And those enemies that are above us, these people that are appointed in high places by men, many not by God, that constantly plague us and oppress us every day. We have to stand sure and wise, walk wise according to commandments, statutes, and ordinances. I ain't talking about turning no other cheek, but what I'm saying is walk wise, redeeming the time. These days are really evil. That is true. As what the days of in the time that was written was evil. We had to say that the evil time existed ever since the Greeks have become, I should have said the Greek and those who look like them have become to power. The days have been very evil for the child of Jacob. And with that, we're going to say if we do that which is pleasing unto the Most High, and there's only one way. And we ain't talking about no Isis. We talking about his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Now, if you put Isis, what Isis going to do? Your Jesus. What is your Jesus or your Muhammad going to do? He still got to go by the laws, statutes, ordinances, and the commandments of the Most High. God haven't opened your eyes and given you light in your soul toward this is what was happening. And we know this. Eventually it's going to click. But the fact is that what can they do, or what have they done to deliver you, to cause you to come out of your dilemma? Nothing. But many attribute the goodness of God to these things that they idolatrously esteem. And with that, we're going to say, until he brings you into that knowledge, and those that you are in that knowledge, peace.
Walk with me.